The new Lorde single Greenlight has been received with pretty rave reviews in the hours after its global release, straight into the US top 10 on iTunes and moving up fast. It trended far and wide on Twitter with Katy Perry amongst the reception committee. It's the 20-year-old Aucklander's first release in 3 years. That's why it's such big news, following a debut album that contained Royals, a #1 single in the US that propelled a North Shore teenager into global stardom. And today, well, The Guardian called Greenlight big tent pop, giving it 4 stars. NME called it an unexpected euphoric rocket. The Atlantic, the venerable old Atlantic, used words like glorious bliss and joyfully. Billboard said a brilliant songwriter enters her prime at 20. Social media, more probably a reflection of her target demo, has been alight with glowing reaction. And the Rolling Stone, well, we spoke to their staff writer, Brittany Spanos.
I mean, I love it. It's such a departure from pure heroine and everything that we've heard from Lorde so far. And I was kind of hoping that she would go in a direction that was similar to the song that she did with Disclosure last year, Magnets, which I really, really adored. And so I'm glad that she kind of went into more of this like dance pop, Robin style of music.
Yeah, it's a banging pop song, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very upbeat. I mean, her first album had a lot of darker undertones and was definitely angstier, moodier. And I mean, the lyrics of the song are about heartbreak, and they are very moody and sad. But I mean, to do this sort of like upbeat song, this like very dancey, clubby song, was such a surprise and also a very welcome one.
Lots of twists and turns in terms of the kind of work that she and Jack Antonoff are doing, the way the song segues musically. It's really interesting production, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like the piano beat beneath it is just like such a driving force and really makes it something that's so different from what you can hear on pop radio and from dance pop songs in general. I mean, that piano is like, it really carries the song in such a way that makes it even more addictive, and like I can stop turning it off for a while today.
Yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it? So you say it's different from what you hear on pop radio. So by pop radio in the States, you're talking about, what, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, that kind of stuff. So is this a broadening of the paradigm of that kind of music? Is she pushing at the boundaries a bit here?
Yeah, I think something that Jack Antonoff in particular has brought to pop production is a level of vulnerability that I think that like is different from the type of like Max Martin sounds that we'd hear, or like sort of these like EDM pop music that we were hearing on radio for a few years. Jack Antonoff has a much more emotional quality to his pop production, and we heard that in 1989 with some of the songs that he worked on with Taylor. But there's like this sensitivity to his dance pop, and I think that Lorde and him are a really special duo, because I think Lorde has always been really good at balancing her emotions with sort of these catchy pop tunes and really bringing herself into everything that she does and being very open and honest with all of her lyrics and with her style. And I think her and Jack as a partnership is really special and kind of really hits that sweet spot with the idea of vulnerability in pop.
Some of our listeners are going to be listening to this, and they're going to be thinking, why are you even talking about this? Because this is a news and current affairs program. What the hell is Lorde doing on it? Not all of our listeners. Lots will be delighted to hear this interview. But how big a cultural event is the release of this single, Brittany?
I think that, especially with how Lorde was received when she first came out, I mean, people were calling her the Nirvana of her generation. People were calling her this like voice of this new generation of music and of pop, especially because she was so young when she first debuted. To many people, she was sort of like this guiding light for people her age and for teenagers. And the way that she spoke about the teen experience was so honest and so real. And people were really looking forward to what she had to offer next. And especially given the amount of time that she took a few years off. She released her first album in 2013. So it's been like almost like about 3.5 years now since she released that album, and people were really looking forward to what she had to offer for her second album. And it was so funny because, I mean, just like looking at, I mean, my Twitter timeline, Twitter timelines are just becoming like what we look at for how the culture is really responding to everything. And everyone was talking about this song today. Everyone was talking about Greenlight. Everyone was so excited that she was back, and we're really, I mean, even up until she released the song, people were really anticipating this new release. which is really rare to see in, like, a cultural moment like that. But people were really, I mean, it was a very international thing. Like, everyone was really looking forward to what she had to offer about this new phase in her life, about her sort of entering adulthood, her new pop sound. And it really delivered.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of the cultural moment comparison. So even though we knew this was coming, because she started to hint broadly a week or so ago, and then the hints became very explicit about 48 hours ago. So it wasn't a total surprise like, say, Lemonade, Beyonce. But everyone has just heard it at the same time for the first time, right? And they are all responding at the same time. And she's absolutely lighting up social media globally, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, people, like, they knew the time that was going to drop, and I just remember seeing people tweet about it the first few minutes before, and they're like, when does that Lorde song come? Which is really, I mean, it's really great to see that she is able to build this type of cultural moment so early in her career, and so at such a young age. I mean, it took Beyonce until, you know, after she released her self-titled to, like, get to that level of cultural moment. And it's so much rarer to see a young artist hit that right now, just because of how much music we're inundated with, and with streaming culture, and with, you know, how many artists are really striving to hit that type of cult-like fame, or even, like, widespread fame, that a lot of the number of big artists are, like, very few and far between. And I love that Lorde has really hit that for herself.
Brittany Spanos from Rolling Stone.